What's going on, Panther family? It's your fave Panther Casper, the Bambi-eyed Panther Casper, and I got for you a brand new album review of Viagra Boys, Welfare Jazz. Now, with Viagra Boys, you haven't heard of them. At least I don't think you've heard of them. So that is why I started this channel. It's not to belittle, and hate on projects that I think are mediocre. I'm just a very, very passionate music fan and an artist myself. And I feel it is my job, and I would be doing a disjustice to you if I did not let you know of the music that I think is great, that I love. So with this one right here, I feel is an album that I would love to bring to your attention, because I do love this album. Now, let's get down to the sound. They are from Sweden, but if I wasn't to tell you they were from Sweden, you probably wouldn't know they're from Sweden, because they sound like they're from the South. Yes, they sound like they're from the South. So, with this right here, they're pretty much giving you the sound and the influence from, let's say, Tom Waits, from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. You probably don't know who those are either. So do yourself a favor, check those out too, because I think they're amazing, and you might think they're amazing too. But let's get into the album here. With Viagra Boys, they're pretty much bringing you this sound of just very, very rambunctious music. Whether it be the harrowing, sporadic vocals from frontman Sebastian, or from the band where you're getting like these squawking saxophones, this driving, visceral bass, like these menacing guitars, and the thing is, and you get the synths too, and the funny thing is, when you get the synths, it still has like a grimy tinge to it, which I love. I love how it's not just bright, you know what I mean? Like with synth pop, you would think like very bright, very jovial, but this one right here, it still has that energy to it, still has a groove to it, but yet it's still grimy. It's still in your face. It's still visceral. Now, it's not visceral all throughout. There are some tracks at the back end where it tones down a little bit, but it still keeps it hot. There's still fire there. And I do commend them for that. However, there are some tracks on here where I do feel like they could have been put on the back end, or they could have been done over, because there is a track called Into the Sunset where I kind of feel like the instrumentation is a little generic. I'm gonna be honest here. 6-Shooter, where it's pretty much just not really much of a song, but more of an interlude, where it's just the instrumentation. I feel like it could have really used some vocals. It could have really used some lyrics, but what are you gonna do? Now, that's not to say this is a bad album, because it's not. I actually think this is a great album. I feel it has moments that are just rambunctious and rowdy and in your face. Like from the start of this thing, it's just like a kick in the door to just like, okay, we're here. This is how we are. This is what you're getting. These are our emotions, and we are throwing them in your face. But yet, they're still keeping a style to it. They're still keeping, I guess you could say, maybe humor to it. We're saying such lines as, I ain't nice, but you got a nice face. Hope you got enough room for me to fit all my shit at your place. And yeah, this is like totally raw. This is totally like from my fucking phone. This is a little low budget, like I said in the Eminem review, which you're probably mad at me for if you watched it. But I'm giving you something I like now. And it is low budget. So maybe one day I'll get a computer. Till then, this is the grind. Right here. This is the grind. But back to the album. So not only do we get just the rambunctious tracks, but we also get tracks that are a little toned down the end too. You know what I mean? Songs that are uplifting, if you will, such as I Feel Alive, where the protagonist here is basically talking about how they overcame the addiction to alcohol, to substance abuse. And it's just a very lumbering, kind of not soulful, but yet it kind of has just a uplift to it. Like the horns really bring out that inspiration of, okay, I've made it. It almost kind of sounds like, if I'm being honest here, maybe some Lou Reed, maybe some Velvet Underground type thing in a way. Like how it's just like so like wonky, but yet it still has that rock feel to it. You gotta listen to it. You have to listen to it in order to see. But it's very much it's dark, but it's uplifting at the same time, if that makes sense. Another track too is To the Country, where he's talking to this love interest, saying, let's get out of here, let's, leave the drugs behind, let's take the dogs. And that's another thing too. You'll notice on this album how they are dog people. They love dogs. Like, they got a song called Secret Canine Agent. They have songs called Girls and Boys, where they bring up how dogs are like the only ones that understand them. So you're gonna notice that. You're gonna notice the dog theme here. That definitely goes on. But yeah, and another thing too, we get a cover of John Prine, legendary singer-songwriter, and they bring to you this collab about a very obtuse but yet endearing relationship between a man and a woman, and it's really, really silly but touching at the same time. And I feel like the vocal performance from Sebastian and the female vocalist really brought the chemistry. The chemistry is there. It's definitely there. But yeah, if I could describe like the instrumentation, it's very much very driving. You got like these squawking saxophones. The guitar sounds grimy as hell. The bass sounds very much rummaging and visceral. The vocals on here are like harrowing and sporadic. Like, it's definitely something that's up my alley. And I do love the versatility too. So, with that being said, I definitely recommend this album. This album makes me want to dance. It makes me want to tear stuff down at the same time. It also makes me want to, just feel at the same time as well, like be connected to the person's emotions. Like this is a whirlwind of emotions. That's what this is right here. It's a whirlwind of emotions, a lot of groove, a lot of personality, and you should definitely check it out. So with that being said, with this album right here, it is rough around the edges at time. It kind of has a little bit of a snag with a flow to it, but I do consider this a 4-star album. My enjoyment level of this is a 4-star album. I did love this album, and I hope you love it too. So, with that being said, how many stars would you give this if you have checked it out? Let me know. Let me know, and the Panther will return.